This is Jackson Welsh, and I'm here today with
Cole Goddard.
Hey Cole, it's great to have you today. Could you tell us what is it that you do?
Well, I'm a roofer. I'm a carpenter. Do a lot of construction projects. I've been a roofer for about 10 years or so, going on 11 years. Used to frame houses, and most recently, I opened up my own company about 3 or 4 years ago, and I've been taking on these projects myself. I have a crew, a couple of guys that help me, carpenters, roofers. We do all sorts of work.
That's awesome. Thank you. Before we get too far into this, what's your company name?
My company name is Aniohevyeshua LLC.
And what does that name mean? I know there's a little bit of a story behind it.
Well, it's Hebrew. It means I love Jesus.
That's impressive to integrate that much God into what you're doing. Could you tell us a little bit about how that started up for you?
Well, I was subbing for another company, and they said, we would love to have you working for us, but you have to open your own company, and you can be a subcontractor for us. And they told me the steps I had to take, and I prayed about it, and I considered my options, and I felt like this was the next step in my life, the next thing that God wanted me to do. So I opened up my own company, and they asked me what the name of it was going to be. And the first name I gave them was also like a phrase in Hebrew. I forget exactly what it is, but
Do you remember what it meant?
Yeah, something along with the lines of God is all powerful, but somebody had already had that name.
Oh, really? Okay.
I thought, okay, well, I'll come up with one that nobody else has. So I used 3 different words in Hebrew. I love Jesus, but I pushed them all together with no spaces.
Okay, that's very cool. How did people react to that when you started? Did you get a little bit of kickback, a little bit of feedback?
Yeah, from everywhere. I mean, I'll go to the roofing contractor's supply store, and I will tell them, hey, I have my own company now. I would like to open a business account with you. They know me from before for coming in when I worked for other companies, and so we already have a relationship. And they ask me, what's your company name? And it's hard for everybody to remember and pronounce, and they give me little nicknames and stuff. And they all ask me, even the bank, when I'm depositing a check into the account that has that name, they'll ask me, what does this mean? I don't understand this. Is this English? Is this and I tell them, and then when I explain to them what it means, it kind of opened the door for me to talk with them about Jesus, and let them know just that a relationship with God is an important part of my life.
So that's really awesome. You've used this company that you've made, and you've turned it into a way to testify and spread God's word to people.
Yeah, I didn't know really how difficult it would be to have my own company. Previously, I just worked for the union for like 6 years. I worked for companies that did a lot of commercial roofing, and it was like you wake up in the morning, you go to work, get there on time. Sometimes you'll be there at 6 in the morning. Sometimes you got to drive 2 hours to get there, 2 hours back home, or you staying in a hotel for a week and they're paying your per diem, and you don't have to worry about any other aspects other than get to work, you do what you need to do a good job, and then you come home. You don't have to talk to the customers most of the time. Most of the time it's these big businesses or big industrial plants, and the only people that you are talking to are the safety coordinators, or sometimes like the project managers from your side, and it connects from their side. But other than that, you're really only talking to your fellow workers. So I didn't realize how many aspects of the whole process that I had never done before. But I just trusted that God was going to lead me through it one step of the way at a time. And I think that has really made me grow. The process of just trying something new that you've never done before, and this is how I feed my family. So when I do it and I I don't feel like I did a good job or whatever, I wake up the next day and go back to it and try again and just get better and better as I do it. And there's been times where I thought, oh man, this is the end of it. I don't know how I'm going to get past this season. But it's almost like God has a blessing over my company because of the way I do my work, and maybe because I put Jesus' name on it, that even when I think that I'm going to have to close shop, or that what I'm going to be doing is going to fail, or any of those doubts that like arise in everybody's mind every once in a while, I think that God's just helped me through all of that.
That's kind of a beautiful thing. When you put God first, He takes care of you and looks over you with everything that you do.
Yeah, definitely. But it's like when you forget to give Him the glory for things, and you forget about God, and that once you start, you know, doing a good job on things, making money, projects go well, and you look back on it and you say, "Oh, this is all my doing." It's not, because even other companies, you know, that don't, the owners don't believe in God, or they don't worry about it or think about it or give Him any glory for anything. Um, Anything could happen at any time. I mean, you can try to be as safe as possible, but there are acts of God that happen, and nobody's in control of some of that stuff. So it's really God that's just keeping them going. Where at any moment, you know, you could have a freak storm come through, or I've been caught on the roof during a thunderstorm, and that's never where you want to be, climbing down an aluminum ladder in a thunderstorm. But you know, you just gotta thank God for every day.
It's awesome that you're staying humble and giving Him credit for all of the things that He's helped you through here. I'd like to talk a little bit more about the transition you made between being a worker and starting up your own business, because I know, and it's great that you're giving God all of that, but some of that had to be a little bit of you too. Like, did you go back? How did you learn all of the things that you needed to do to start up your own business?
Well, actually, when I was subbing for that other company, they kind of just empowered me to do everything on my own, because when I was working for them, they would tell me, you know, look, you have to go out and check out these places yourself. You can take our van, and then you have to come up with the estimate. You have to come up with the list of materials that you need for the job. You have to figure out dumpster situation, scheduling. You have to communicate with the customer, the homeowner, the business owner. And then you have to be there for when the job is taking place. I was managing the crew, then I had to make sure the crew had everything they needed. If it was a job that I was doing myself, I had to, you know, make sure that I had all my ducks in a row, so that when I got there, I could get the job done and not have to take a bunch of time to make 5 trips to the different department stores or roofing stores or construction places, wait in line for 5 hours at a Home Depot, and then wait in line for 5 more hours at a Home Depot to take all the stuff back because I got too much. So it wasn't like I was thrown into the ocean. I had to do everything for myself and learn to swim all at once, but I had to take, you know, I had to take steps. And the people that I worked for, they helped give me advice and walked me through each of the steps. There were times where I failed. I didn't do it correctly. I didn't do it as most efficiently as possible, and that was when I learned the right ways to do it. And now I feel like I have a little bit of knowledge and confidence about the way I do things, but there's so much to be learned still about construction. And as you get bigger jobs, and there's different certifications and everything you need if you want to work in like a hospital, you need like an ICRA certification. If you want to work at any one of these bigger jobs, for even for like a golf course or something like that, and you need your OSHA 40, your OSHA 30 rather, and you need to have everybody that's with you trained in safety. You have to have safety meetings in the morning. You learn that as you go, but the bigger you get, the more of those type of things that they take precedent over just showing up and starting the job. Like you have to have a permit. You have to make sure that you have all the right permits depending on the county you're in. You have to make sure that you're following all the codes, all the building codes. And there's a lot you have to pay attention to.
Well, you seem to be doing pretty good to me. It's kind of beautiful that God placed all those people in your life and that they were able to encourage you and push you in that direction to grow your business. And that you were able to put that much work and effort into building your business and expanding and learning new things and getting all your certifications and everything that you needed to do.
Yeah, after I subbed for them for a couple of years, and I was doing pretty much most of the work except for like the accounting and some of the paperwork side of it. I figured, since I'm doing this, and sometimes I'm out there 60 hours, 70 hours a week, and I have to share a lot of the profit with the company I was subbing for. I figured, why don't I just save a little bit of money up and go out on my own and see how this is going to work. And then my wife was pregnant with twins, and my schedule was really demanding towards the end of her pregnancy, and she needed me home. And I decided then that I was going to take a couple weeks off and then just go out on my own. And it was a faith thing. I had to just completely take a leap of faith there because I didn't know exactly what to expect, but I just prayed, God, I'm trusting you, Lord, just help me through this. And it helped me like free up a little bit of time where I could be home for my wife right after the babies were born, and it worked out really well. I'm glad that I don't have to make that decision again, because it was like kind of rough not knowing exactly what was going to happen next. But now I feel like I have a good customer base, and I have some of the tools that I need, and I have a place to store them. I have a truck and everything. When I first started, I was working on my Honda Civic with a telescoping ladder that could go up 20 feet. And I had a crew that would come help me as well. And they had all the different tools for the job, ladder vaders and 40-foot ladders, everything else you would need. But they're not there with me every time I go for like a roof inspection or to meet with a customer. So when I was working on the Honda Civic, it was a little rough, but I made it through, and I hope it just, goes smoother and smoother every year. And if that's in God's will that I remain open and running my company, then that's good, and I'm going to give it my all. And if it's not what's in God's will, then I'll know to move on to something else.
Coming up from being a worker to having your own business, balancing things, having all your own equipment, working with teams, having the base that you do, and giving all the credit to God is really an impressive work. You didn't let all that go to your head. I want to commend you for that. You're honestly one of the hardest workers I know. I've worked for you over the summer, the amount that you go into things. Like, even when you're on the roof, even when you're on the job, you'll have a sermon on your phone, and you're listening to God's word and plugging into God in everything that you do.
Yeah, I always hope that maybe like a homeowner can sit and listen when I have like a gospel music playing on the roof as I'm installing it, that maybe that God can speak a word to them through that, and that it can have a impact on their life. And if anybody has any questions about the quality of the work, or any questions about the roofing itself along the way, then I take pictures all along the way through the job, the whole process of it. So I will share with them my thoughts. They can share their concerns and get everything ironed out so we're on the same page. And I want to be a good representative of God. If I have Jesus in my name, then I'm going to want to make sure that the job's done right. And it kind of helps to hold me to a higher standard too.
Whatever you do it for the glory of God. All right. Well, thank you, Cole, for joining me today. Is there any final notes you want to add on?
No, just want to say, thanks for sitting down, taking the time to talk with me. And thank you for volunteering to help me in my company with all of this. And thank you for the days that you've worked alongside me during the summer. You do good work, and you may not know all the things, but I'll help you with it. And I know that if I send you to do it and you know how to do it because I explain it to you, then I won't have to go back and redo anything that you do. So it doesn't matter how fast somebody is. Like I've had to deal with lately, a couple of guys, and just so excited to get to the next step that they don't do it the way it's supposed to be done, and I have to go back and do it again. It just takes more time. So I just appreciate you doing it the right way, doing it as I explained it to you, and it really actually gets a lot of work done because I don't have to take any more time on that.
Thank you, Cole. That really means a lot. It's been an honor to work beside you and learn things, both of the trade and of God. All right, I'm Jackson Welsh, and this is Cole Goddard, here with the Aniohevyeshua podcast.
Have a blessed day.